Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 vs 4 on Hill 112, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 3rd Armoured Division. Now this game was played on stream, and if you're interested in the VOD for that stream, then you will have to be a Patreon, and you can find all of the details to do with that in the description. But either way, I was requested to play the 3rd Armoured, and somebody said Hill 112. So here we are, playing on Hill 112. Been a long time. Definitely a long time since I played this map. It's a very interesting map, for sure, and introduces a lot of dilemmas when it comes to line of sight and so on. And I'll tell you what, this game was an absolute cracker. So, yeah, 3rd Armoured for me. I've got West Korea, Best Korea with the 3rd Armoured, Magic Man with the 101st Airborne, and 11 Bravo with the Guards Armoured. We're playing against Dave Z, Dr. Fresh, Arctic Fusilier, and Melon, who are using the 17th SS, 12th SS, 352nd, and Panzer Lehr. So I'm going to be taking the left side of the hill here, and basically we had it set up so I'm taking the left side of the center hill to sort of here. And then we have West Korea, Best Korea fighting on the low ground. And then on the right side, so this area, we have 11 Bravo with the Guards Armoured. And on the far right, we have the Magic Man with the 101st Airborne. If we have a look at where I'm deploying my troops, I started with quite a light force really in this one. We've got a couple of AT guns, a couple of half tracks in there with infantry, like armoured rifles, a couple of command infantry as well to go with the AT guns. Then I've got a couple of recon squads, and followed up by a mortar. So the idea I had was like recon at the start, find their AT guns, hit them with the mortar, then I can maybe try and push through with something like an M4A1 if I can. But I'm pretty spread out, so just gotta get my grounding first, and then I can push forwards later in the game towards my opponent, who I'm still unsure of who it's going to be at this point. But yeah, in the later phases we get 150 points per tick, so I can use that to my advantage as I am able to bring in more armor, especially if I have a solid foundation to start with, which is why so much focused on AT guns. Now, having AT guns on the high ground is much better having it on the low ground, so you can see that's why I've placed an AT gun here and an AT gun here rather than an AT gun here and an AT gun here, even though that technically would have looked like a better way to cover it. But this AT gun up here will fire down, and so will this one as well, rather than just firing on the same level that they're on. And then anything lower than that will be taken out by West Korea's M1 gun down there. So the M1 gun up on the hill with my units going to be continuing to push forwards. I'm going to move my half tracks into cover here to make sure they don't get taken out by enemy AT, because with the 3rd Armoured, especially in phase A where you've only got 70 points to work with, you want to keep your half tracks alive as much as you can. So keeping them behind cover is pretty important. So now I find out I'm playing against Melon, who is the Panzer Lehr, which isn't very good really for the 3rd Armoured. We do have more income than them in phase C, however in phase B they have more than us, and they will likely be bringing in Panthers at that point. So pretty scary, but either way, gotta deal with it. M1 gun gets a cheeky couple shots onto some AT guns, and onto these half tracks even. Get the engine destroy onto one of them, destroy the other, and that kind of relieves a little bit of pressure of those half tracks pushing up. Still going to move back as the 257 is mortaring my armoured leader and armoured rifle here. And since there is such a large amount of forces to the left, I kind of decide that I'm going to push forwards these half tracks to see if I can make some ground up here, which I'm starting to do by creating this little salient.
Yes, sir.
Now, since there's a lot of these Flak 38s and the Pak 38s down the hill there. I'm moving over the M21 mortar carrier to do some damage. My M3A1 half-track there is unfortunately going to get forced back by an IG, but we are pushing the +1 at the moment and starting to count up the score ticker. That's all well and good. Armoured rifles, I pulled them all the way back. Armoured leader even more so. And the mortar is going to work. So going to have a mortar shell come in there and one-shot the Flak 38 as they move into the fire. And now I'm going to be targeting the Pak 38. You can see me trying to fire in front of the Pak 38 just so I can preemptively hit the Pak 38, especially if I'm already hitting it with this M4A1, which would struggle to kill at max range. And my scouts up on the hill do get killed as they try to go into the centre forest. But meanwhile on this side of things, Panzergrens are revealing themselves and then being absolutely hammered by the M3 half-track, the M3A1 half-track and the M21 mortar carrier. This mortar carrier does have a 50 cal on it, so still pretty deadly against infantry. And with the pack pretty much destroyed here, going to be continuing to move forwards the M4A1. There you go, Pak 38 goes down as I continue to aggress towards them. We have the M3 half-track making both of those Panzergrens surrender as well. And my M4A1's trying to get the kill onto the 257. We do see a Storch come in here from Dave Z on the hill. Looks like he was trying to just get some information about what was going on. 11 Bravo taking up positions here in order to start pushing forwards, but there is now a Pak 40 in the way, and that's going to be starting to kill off my half-tracks here, which isn't good. I still have the armoured rifle sort of providing a presence, and I've definitely taken this sort of lower area with the M3A1 half-track here as well. So continuing the push down here, this M8 Scott is just firing because I had it on a fire position command for where the Pak 38 was sort of moving towards. Eventually I realised that that's still firing after it's used up a lot of its ammunition, and tell it to keep moving forwards with an attack order next to my M4A1.
Yes, sir.
So recon now moving up to replace the scouts we lost on the hill. And I've got the Jeep 30 cal that's on a little bit of an attack move to try and help kill off some of the Stoss troop and so on that 11 Bravo is coming up against. I still haven't managed to take out this 257, which was kind of frustrating. I was hoping that the M4A1 would be able to get that kill, but at the moment I'm more worried about this Pak 38 killing my M21. So just trying to get out of range, and I do just about manage to. Do have the transmission damage there. So what I'm going to have to do is just directly move the M21 back as far as I can and behind cover. Trying to get the M3A1 half-track out of line of sight of this Pak 40. Unfortunately, the Pak 40 misses again, and I've just about managed to save it. Now these M3A1 half-tracks with the 50 cals, they're well worth saving and well worth keeping alive if you can, because 50 cals are so damn strong for ripping to shreds both infantry and also, you know, enemy vehicles. They can make, especially like half tracks like the 251 ones, fall back with those 50 cals. Stoss troop here from Dave Z, going to be trying to push onto my armoured rifles. Fortunately, we do have M1 carbines, which are able to fire away, and so are the M1 Garans before the Stoss troop get in range. So 6 HE on target there, not too shabby. He's going to be forced to fall back with that. Just about managed to get the kill in there though, and that works out quite nicely. Going to be seeing the Jeep 30 cal go down there as the Panzerwerfer or Nebelwerfer fires away. That is actually a Nebelwerfer. Direct hits my Jeep, and that would have not been a nice death or whatsoever. Still, making quite a bit of ground. +1 still in our favour. Armoured rifles actually getting up to this road, and this armoured rifle squad, what an absolute champ it was. As any unit comes into range, they can get their bazooka off. That's going to help them pin down enemy units quite quickly. And these speed through, they're not in hard cover. So armoured rifles have an immediate advantage there. On the left side, M3A1 half-track, helping out with the Panzergrenz. Should have unloaded the command infantry already, just to give that half-track 2-star veterancy. But either way, not particularly a big concern just yet, as I am messing about with my Stuart on the hill, trying to take care of this MG42. Take out a Stoss troop there with the main gun. And you can see that I have sort of brought my Scott and M4A1 over in order to try and move up and push through the hill with my teammate Bravo there. Now one thing I was trying to do here was try and keep the Stuart out of line of sight of the Pak-40 while still being in line of sight of the IG as it moved from right to left. Unfortunately the IG-18 does manage to get across and they end up absolutely hammering my armoured rifles. But my M5A1, that gets quite a decent amount of damage down onto the flak filling, so that was helpful. But now we can see even more units coming in. Plenty of half-tracks on their way to deal with this armoured rifle that did just take out the spear troop that were moving up that road. MG42 goes down, of course, and we're going to be hit by the Nebelwerfer once again. Nebelwerfer smacks my armoured leader in the face, and I don't want that to sit in the flames, so I'm just going to be starting to move it back. Pak-40 is also falling back here due to my mortar, so I'm able to move up the M5A1s and maybe try and take out the IG. And currently Dave Zed's moving his IG-18 forwards, so looking to just get the kill on that. Unfortunately, M5A1 going to get forced to fall back by the Ju-87, but we do have another mortar carrier here, and this Ju-87 is going to go for the bombing strike onto that. Does manage to pin us down briefly, but the M8 Scott's going to finish that off there with its 9 HE power gun. So IG down, 2 M21 mortar carriers in play. And I'm still looking for the kill onto the Pak-40. If we can get rid of this Pak-40, then I can be a lot more aggressive with my tanks. But if he manages to get that Pak-40 into the tree line and kills my M8 Scott and my M4A1, I'm going to be in a bit of a predicament. So, I'm going to be very careful with that engagement. Any Pak-38 I come across, I'm going to be trying to mortar as well. So on this left side, M21 is going to be finding the Pak-38, my half-track. Unfortunately, couldn't get into cover here, so we're going to be losing one of the 50 cal half tracks. And as soon as he got started firing upon, I basically tried to charge the Pak-38 down and get the 50 cal in range so we can pin him down faster, but it didn't work out. And I am going to lose my M5A1 Stuart there on the hill just before the Pak-40 gets hit by a direct hit from the M21 mortar carrier. So, quite an interesting game so far, trading with pretty much 2 players. We got this +1 on the go. Not too bad. Panzerwerfer is going to be coming in for the shot onto the mortar carrier. This mortar carrier has taken an absolute beating this game. Just about misses out on taking a direct missile hit because this is open top, which means the Panzerwerfer could actually kill that if it hit it directly. M4 takes out the flak filling on the right side, and mortar carrier is still firing away from behind this tree line. But at this point, there is quite simply no AT gun on this hill, and I should have been taking advantage of that. It's just this presence of the sort of center forest area is quite big at this point, because these Stoss troop with their like Panzerfaust, they can hide quite easily and take out your tanks if you're not too careful. But either way, going to be starting to try and move up a second M4A1 with my first one, and I would like to keep pushing, but now I have some Panzer IVs in my way. Melon bringing up 2 of the Panzer IV Hs. The armoured LMG rifles there going to be accompanying the M3A1 as they make a push into this tree line. We're going to be coming across some Stoss troop there. They're going to get absolutely hammered by the 50 cals. And there we go. At that range, armoured LMG rifles will rip to shreds Stoss troop, and Stoss troop can't even fire back because they need 100 meter range. Wolf 190 G3 coming in with the 4 5HE power bombs to bomb out my M1 gun. Never going to kill the M1 gun with those planes, but they will pin it down and force me to fall it back. Obviously, if they know it's there, I don't want it to be hit by the 257 or the Panzerwerfer, so we're going to be falling that back for now. Armoured rifles eventually get dealt with on this left side after using all of their rockets. Took a Pioneer squad and a Panzergrenadier to push him out. Also a speed troop now taking up mantle on that left side. Got another unit of infantry coming up to cover, as I don't want this salient to be pushed in too hard. Another unit of Stoss troop getting taken out on this right side as Dave Z tries to continue to push. I've now brought up a CGMC just to help with anti-air, since I don't want that Storch to just be freely flying around anymore. The 54% territory lead over on this right side. The Magic Man is making a lot of progress with his 101st. This territory with all of the forests like this is actually really nice for him, so looks like he's using that to his advantage. We've pretty much almost taken the top as well.
Take cover, Lieutenant.
Just about getting into the tree line here. M1 gun does get taken out by the Panzerwerfer. I'm going to have to be a bit careful now, because the Panzerlehr is starting to mount his forces. He's got 2 Panzer 4Hs and the Tiger E here, and they can definitely do a lot of damage to my M4A1s if I let them. But since he's going to be starting to move up this hill, I'm going to be going for the preemptive artillery to try and make them fall back. Or at least just like do the morale damage so they're less accurate. And then maybe I can sneak out with the M4A1s at some point and try and get a kill off. But at the moment, not to be. However, my Morse string is enough to force Melon to fall back again. So that's good. And I think he probably realised what I was trying to do there. Damage the morale so I could sneak out the M4A1s and get the kills. Now in the tree line, unfortunately, armoured LMG rifles don't do so well. They only have 4 HE on target here against the Panzergrens 5 and the Panzergrenadiers 7. So going to be losing that armoured LMG rifle squad there, but Bravo's got a couple of assault pioneers pushing through now, and they should be able to do the job. Now I know one thing that does counter Panzer IVs quite well, and that is the Jumbo. So I have a Jumbo coming in down here. And this Jumbo won't necessarily do much against the Tiger E. But can definitely do a lot against the Panzer IV. Also got my M1 gun on this left side getting back into position. So that's going to be firing at the Panzer IV-H. Probably should have had it on return fire and allowed those Panzer IVs to get closer.
Yes.
But with that one shot going off there, I don't want him to target that with all of his main guns, so just going to be pulling it back into cover. Mortar carrier still firing away and pinning down some pioneers, and the Panzergrenadier on this left side. Our 2 MG or 30 cals are on target, so that's going to be helping out as well. Trying to get rid of the Panzergrens there, as I don't want them sneaking up and Panzerfausting my M4A1s in the face. But here Melon's going to end up spotting my Jumbo with that Storch. Now I do have this anti-air here. It just wasn't in line of sight to fire at the Storch from that angle. Otherwise I might have actually shot down that recon aircraft. Would have been quite nice. So we're not doing too bad. There is quite a lot building up though. This is quite a horrible Panzer IV pack. Failed Panzer IV, 2 Panzer IV-Hs and the Tiger E. I've currently got 2 M4A1s and the Jumbo. That's pretty much the matchup right now, and things could definitely go either way if there was a frontal tank engagement, because at close range the Jumbo would probably have more AP than the Tiger. Like the Jumbo would probably end up penetrating the Tiger before the Tiger could penetrate the Jumbo. The only issue is that the Tiger has 6 accuracy and the Jumbo has 5. And the Jumbo doesn't have any veterancy, and that Tiger E is like 3-star, so that's a bit of an issue there. On this right side, M3 half-track going to be taking out one of the MGs. Haven't unloaded that infantry yet. It's kind of got mixed up a little. I was focusing on this left side where I'm pushing forwards the armoured LMG rifles, and I also have the mortar carrier trying to take care of the Panzergrens here. And now we can see Panzer IV's moving in a completely different direction. These scouts spotting him almost the entire time. Great thing about recon in this game, it does remain hidden very easily. We can see exactly what's going on, and with him moving to the left side there, I know what to expect, and that's probably going to be a push into this sort of area.
Yes, sir.
I know that he can see me as well, due to that speed troop sort of falling back at this point. So we've now entered phase C, and we are still pushing the +1s. We've just gone over 1,000 points to our advantage. 19 minutes and 45 seconds left on the game. 2 mortar carriers now up on the hill. We have one down here still. M3 half-track is going to be coming up and dropping off an armoured rifles to push up to this tree line. And I've got my Jumbo now, fast moving down the road to this left side. It's going to be joined by the M1 gun there to try and kill off some of these Panzer IVs if he tries to overextend. Also got the Calliope coming in now. I need something that's going to be able to do a lot of morale damage very quickly. So Calliope is going to be firing away. I've got the Jumbo coming down the hill. And the idea was that I would try and kill off as many of these Panzer IVs as possible whilst pinning down the rest of the units there. I've also even got the M4A1 on the way. And eventually, Panzerwerfer hits its mark and my M21 goes down. So Calliope just continuously firing away. I really want to try and pin down this Tiger E if I can. Doesn't matter if I don't, as long as I kill off some of these Panzer IVs, but at the moment, line of sight's really kind of doing me in. And the attack move order that I wanted to use is being a bit awkward, because I've got to play this very carefully. I don't want to get into line of sight with this Tiger, but at the same time I want to be able to take out his Panzer IVs. Now the 257 does come in here and take out my M1 gun, which was annoying. Ju-87 does manage to drop its bomb and deal even more morale damage, which means this Jumbo's just not really going to hit anything. And I guess one way you could get around it is bringing in by like an M20 command or something to give it the extra 1-star veterancy, but I would still feel like the Jumbo would miss. That Jumbo just doesn't like to hit anything. It's just an absolute sponge. Now I did bring up an M1 gun onto the hill to try and cover any advances coming up, but that ends up getting taken out. And now my mortars up on the top of the hill are being counter-batteried. So we're coming under quite a lot of pressure. Focke-Wulf 190 going to be coming in with the bombing strike onto my tanks as well. One thing those Focke-Wulfs are good at with a lot of bombs is causing that morale damage. You can see the Jumbo there, even with its 20 armor, taking half the morale damage, which is pretty horrible. But a King Tiger has arrived from Melon, and this is where things start to get a bit serious. He's still got both of his Panzer IVHs alive. He's got the Befehl Panzer IV, he's got the Tiger E, and now he's also got a King Tiger. I've still got 2 M4A1s and the M4 Jumbo. That's pretty much it. However, do have a couple of these M5 guns on the way, I've got a second jumbo on the way, and I've got an M5A1 to give me some command. Further to that, I've got a second AA piece, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to cover the skies and maybe start to push back at some point. Now thankfully, due to my teammate doing so well on my right flank, 11 Bravo's pushed through quite far, and Magic Man's still holding on the right. And we also have West Korea, Best Korea making some ground on the left side. So it's just a matter of dealing with this King Tiger and the Panzer IVs, and we should be able to push through to a convincing victory. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock at the moment. So I've got a jumbo up on the hill, I've got a jumbo down here, and this is pretty much purposeful. This jumbo is actually sort of moving to the right, just out the way of the Königstiger. And yeah, basically what I want to do is get this jumbo up onto the high ground, maybe try and push through onto this Befehlpanzer IV. And that would force him to come up with his tanks, which is what he's doing at the moment. This M4A1 doesn't drive fast enough and does get popped in the back by a King Tiger and the Tiger E. But the other units here have got away. So Jumbo's moving up the hill, Calliope's moving up to get reloaded. We've got the Jumbo and the M5A1 down on the lower ground. And currently a bunch of tanks just rushing forwards. We do see Magic Man come in here with the B-26B Marauder. He's got the 25 HE power bombs. I was basically spotting out all of these tanks, and we do manage to get the stun on all of them there, but there goes my recon that was providing me with so much information throughout the game. Down here, Panzer IV, and is engaging, well, the Panzer IV is engaging my Calliope and the M8 Scott. That in combination actually is not too bad. The M8 Scott providing the 9 HE, and 11 Bravo's brought in a Sherman 5 try and get the kill. Another bomber coming in from West Korea, Best Korea this time with the Lightning and the 25 HE power bombs, continuously forcing those tanks to fall back. We're going to be seeing the Befehlpanther here have its tracks broken by my M5 gun, but with the Tiger E and Befehlpanther getting on target, that's not going to do me too many favours. And I wanted to push this M5 gun through this tree line, but I got impatient and moved out onto the road, and that cost me that as well. I also lose the Stuart, and I pretty much realised that if I sent the jump around the corner, I'd probably lose that as well. So I just kind of decided to play it conservative. I was obviously moving backwards and forwards here to try and make things work, but with the Lightning or the Marauder coming in with the 25 HE power bomb, now's the time to move forwards and get these kills. At that range, Jumbo has more than enough AP to destroy that armor. But yeah, losing both of those 2-star M5 guns was really, really bad on my part. I shouldn't have lost either of them. I should have had the M5 gun probably back here. I should have had the M5 gun actually move through this little forest area, and then both of them would probably still be alive, and I would have already killed the Tiger E and the Befehlpanther. But still, Jumbo's getting on target here, takes out the Befehlpanther. The M4A3 from West Korea, Best Korea takes out the Tiger with a side shot, and that's going to relieve the pressure on me for now. So thanks to the air support from my teammates here, I have managed to push back the tank convoys for now. The Panzer IVs are coming back, so I'm mortaring those, as you can see. And I'm just getting into position to sort of get a crossfire going. So Jumbo's up on the hill here, we've got Jumbo down below, we've got the M4A1 behind the tree line. And I've also got 2 M5 guns coming up. Now at this point, Melon's probably assuming that he's taken out the majority of my AT because of those 2 M5 guns going down here. Probably wasn't convinced that I was going to have these M3 gun or M5 guns coming up as well. And we are going to see one of the Panzer IVs go down here. And we have the Cromwell from 11 Bravo coming up and dealing some morale damage. I've got the Jumbo now firing at the Panzer IV as well. And this armoured leader is providing a little bit of command to the M5 guns, squeezing that through. And the first target's obviously going to be the King Tiger, since he is showing side armour. Boom. King Tiger goes down. M5 guns also going to be starting to fire at the mortar carrier back here for some reason, even though there was a tank firing at it right in the face. M4A1's moving across, Jumbo still firing from the hill. Second M5 gun moves up to the tree line, again focusing the mortar carrier before the tanks. I found that very odd. But either way, M5 guns will be able to do the job from now on, and just getting shots in from all sides means they have absolutely no chance. Jumbo now moving up as well to try and get a side shot. Panzerwerfer goes down to the M5 gun as well, so does the Flak 38, and this is where we're breaking the back of Melon. Tiger E finally getting killed. Lovely stuff. So that with that King Tiger, Tiger, 2 Panzer IVs all being killed, that is 1,000 points killed in a matter of minutes or seconds even, with that attack going on. And just managing to get the M5 guns that close was actually relatively easy to do on this map because of the constricting lines of sight. Like I said at the beginning, it is all about the line of sight on this map. And that's one reason people don't tend to play it too much, because it can be really frustrating. So now I have 2 Jumbos, 2 M4A3s with the 76mm guns. I've got one of the M4A1s still alive, and I've got the 2 M5 guns to back it all up. So our armour presence at this point is absolutely insane in comparison to Melon, who pretty much just lost the majority of his force in that one push back from mine. Armoured LMG rifles, going to be bumping into some Panzergrens there. Plenty of half tracks on target, as well as the 50 cal and main gun from the M4A3, so I'm going to make those surrender. Just going to be taking as much ground as I can at this point, continuing to push forwards. Now I've got one mortar carrier left. I've got the Calliope finally reloaded, so that's going to be coming up to join my push as we move forwards. But now 4 minutes left on the clock, just gone over 2,000 score, 61% territory lead. Jumbo starting to engage the Befehl Panther or Panzer on the hill. This engagement is pretty much impossible for the Panzer IV. Panzer IV just can't win because it just can never penetrate the Jumbo, whereas the Jumbo can always penetrate the 8 armour. So the 3rd armoured is really, really good against certain divisions. Like 3rd armoured, fantastic against like 9th Panzer, for example, because 9th Panzer relies so much on Panzer IVs. The main issue comes in like Phase A, where you just don't have enough power, I guess, to hold back the 9th Panzer, which is very strong in Phase A. But either way, this is 3rd armoured against Panzer Lehr, and we broke the camel's back already. Time to just secure the victory. P-38 Lightning coming in there with the bombing strike, going to be taking the kill of the Pak 40. My M4A3 was already on the case there though. Second Pak 40 is in position, and we do see the Jagd Panzer also in play. But with the P-38 Lightning coming in and, you know, causing some morale issues there, I'm going to have my Jumbo and my M4A3 move up and try and get the kills. Forcing that to fall back.
Enemies nearby.
M5 gun going to be opening up onto the MG. And we do have a couple of infantry squads that are moving forwards with all of this. Also brought up some scouts now as well, as it's very important to be able to spot these Pak 40s as soon as they come into the tree line, like we saw there. That little bit extra aim time that it allows you is just so important, to be able to pin down the Pack 40 in time. They will get one shot off, and if they're lucky they might get a kill. But in general, they shouldn't be able to.
Yes, sir.
So now I have the Jagdpanzer still aiming at the Jumbo, leaving its side vulnerable to the M4A3 on the lower ground, however. And as it falls back, M4A3 gets a side shot, and that's the Jagdpanzer down. So even another tank being lost there. M3 half-track, that's going to be hammered by the Pack 40.
Squad, at your orders, sir.
And with the MG42 going down there, you can see just the huge breakthrough that has occurred. This time round, not going to let a King Tiger break me. And instead, it broke them.
War Daddy to Red Leader.
Jumbo getting on target of the Pack 40 before it can even fire. And that's going to be job done there. Fantastic stuff. 30 seconds to go. I passed the hill entirely now. I'm having the actual M4A3 here run away from a new Befehl Panther that's come in. But I'm just going to be able to ignore that as the game is coming to a close. 10 seconds left on the clock. I couldn't really sort out a pincer movement on it, even if I wanted to at this point. And with 67% territory lead and a +3 at the end of the game, that's it. Total victory. 34 minutes and 53 seconds. We jump over the team scores. 3,600 kills to 1,580 losses for ourselves. West Korea, best Korea on my left flank. Even better. 3,465 kills to 985 losses. Really, really well done. 101st player, Magic Man, on the right side, really helping out with the B-26B Marauders with those 25 HE power bombs in Phase C. Definitely helped us from being pushed by the Panzer IV King Tiger convoy. So yeah, props to my team for helping me out with that. And 11 Bravo on the right side, also doing well with the Guards Armoured. So yeah, there was that. Now Guards Armoured actually does pretty decent against 17th SS generally, so 17th SS, they're struggling. Melon took a lot of losses towards the end there, with all of his tanks being killed off. And then Dr. Fresh and Arctic Fusiliers trying their best, but not quite getting there. If we jump over to the kills, M4A1 at the start, picking up a bunch, paid itself off nicely. N21 Mortar Carrier took out 2 Pack 40s for us. This M4A1 probably could have done a little bit better, but this Jumbo coming in, taking out a Befehl Panther, took out the Flak 41, took out the FK18. M5 gun got the Tiger E kill and the Panzer 40 kill. We got the Jumbo taking out another Befehl Panzer 4 there, and it was the M5 gun that picked up the Königsdagger in the end. We also saw the M4A3 pick off the Jagdpanzer towards the end, which is another large amount of kills. So we were playing more or less against 2 players for the majority of that. You can see the amount of kills spread out there, Panzerlehr and 17th SS. But there we go. That's going to be a job done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.